Let's freaking go! PHL Live, brought to you by Zion Imaging. We're talking tonight about Brian Kelly's transfer portal problem. He has a minor one that I think will be very difficult to overcome. Also, could this be a big game for the LSU secondary? I don't think they really have a choice. This is going to be the most prove-it game I have ever seen for an LSU defensive back group that have years of eligibility remaining. Are they going to prove themselves to be worthy SEC starters going into next season? I'm looking at you. Come in tight. It is Thanksgiving Turkey Day Eve, and I need as much energy as I possibly can tonight in the chat. Let's freaking go!
It's Power Hour LSU.
PHL, extra little bit of swag, an extra little bit of taste.
Yeah. Man, I'm headed to the field. Terror of the tiger, I'ma always keep it real. Everything gon' get devoured, it's the power. LSU with Carter, it's the power. LSU with Carter, man, I'm headed to the field. Terror of the tiger, I'ma always keep it real. Everything gon' get devoured, it's the power. LSU with Carter, it's the power. LSU with Carter.
Yeah, baby. So I'm sorry we had to start a little bit later. I have a few errands I have to go run because it is Turkey Day Eve. We got family coming in from all around, but you don't give a damn about that. You care about my opinion on the Tigers tackle football team. Let's start with recruiting. All right. So like I've said yesterday, I'll say it again now. I want the LSU coaching staff not getting ready really for this game at all. I need them to focus on December 4th. That is the early signing period. We need to be focused on the next transfer portal class. Whatever happens in this game this weekend happens. Now, personally, I care more about the game. I do, because every single game is scarce. We have so many more days of no college football games than no days of any other sport. We only get 12 of these things every single year. And this is Oklahoma. This is a historic battle. But there is one major problem with the transfer portal, is that not only do we need it, we've got to have it this year. So the framework of every single college football national championship team is the recruiting class from 2 years prior. So part of why I really liked LSU going into 2024 was our 2022 high school recruiting class had a ridiculously amount of good football players, which is rare because we only had 15 players signed from high school, but we had 4 big-time players in year one: Emory Jones, Will Campbell, Harold Perkins, and Mason Taylor. And then we had a few others in that class that were pretty solid players. Here's the issue. You take a look at next year, the 2025 season. What will the basic framework of that team be? Or what should it be? Well, it's a recruiting class from 2 years prior. So what I want you to do is take a look at this. Bang. The 2023 LSU recruiting class. All right. This is what a lot of people don't want to hear. And we like to, kind of tiptoe around potential and if you could break out the next season. But the bottom line is rarely do college football players take a massive leap without showing you anything from the year prior. So you take a look at the 2023 LSU recruiting class. Lance Hurd, could you convince him to come back to LSU after a year at Tennessee? I don't know. Deshaun Womack, no snaps in the last couple of games. What's going on? He started to play better. Javian Toviano, a non-factor on the team. I've begged for him to play more, but it is what it is. I always thought Jaylen Brown was overrated as a prospect, but he's at Florida State now. Shelton Sampson, not caught a pass. Jackson Howard, 1 year and gone. DJ Chester, hey, look, at least he's playing. I know I've been critical of him, but at least he's playing. Kamarion Pipton, at least he plays, not really a factor. Whit Weeks, a star. And then we get Kylan Jackson. We would have liked to have seen more, or I would have liked to have seen more before me believing he could be a starting safety next year. Caleb Jackson, non-factor, but at least he gave us 1 year of really good play. Tyree Adams. I really like Tyree Adams. Can't really judge him. He's been injured. Ricky Collins, we'll see. Mac Markway, we'll see. Well, actually, no, he's gone. Trey Holly, Ryan Yates, gone. Kyle Parker, not really a factor. He's been hurt. Kai Prean is at Tulane. Christian Brathwaite, no factor. Jeremiah Hughes, gone. Paul Mabenga, looks like he can really be something. Jackson McGowan, gone. Ryan Doherty, gone. Dylan Carpenter barely plays. And Ashton Stamps, can he take a step into superstardom next season? I do think he can be a good SEC corner next year because he's shown us something, right? The USC game was amazing. Now, the Florida game was not. So as good as the USC game was, the Florida game was a disaster, but the guy is competitive. The guy is really stood out there for us. He wears Uno. He is only going to get better, at least one would like to think. And in typical LSU fashion, he was the lowest rated high school prospect that we had in this class. And in LSU fashion, it never fails. The lowest player always turns out to be something. All right. So why is all of that relevant? Well, the LSU coaching staff's got to ask these questions. Can Shelton Sampson do something? We've seen him make ridiculous catches in practice, but can he actually do something in a game? Can Javier Toviano do something? Are we trusting Deshaun Womack to step in next season for Braden Swinson? That is Brian Kelly's transfer portal problem. Because we just went through every high school player, and Brian Kelly is big on high school football recruiting. We just went through all of them. Y'all, Whit Weeks, star, and that's about it. That's about it. Ashton Stamps has played a lot. Do you trust him to be a number one corner next year? Tell me. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Paul Mabenga has shown a lot of promise in that Vanderbilt game. This will be a big game for him. Okay? DJ Chester has played a lot. But the fact that going into next season, your top 6 rated guys from that class, only Womack has really done anything, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So now, here's what I would do if I'm Brian Kelly. And I'm being honest. High school development is overrated in the modern day. It is overrated. You can go get a good defensive end that can hold up from the portal, from Elon, from just some random school. You can find those guys. You can find them. Now, are they SEC level material? I don't know. But I'll tell you this. The best transfers on your team defensively this season, one is from Southeastern, the other is from Grand Valley State. We've got to get anyone that we think can step in and be great. All right? It's just that simple. So a huge transfer portal problem for BK is guessing which one of your high school guys are going to take a leap. And if I was sitting in the LSU room right now and they were to ask me, hey, do you think this guy is going to take a leap? Do you think this guy is going to take a leap? I'll just ask this very simple question. In actual football games, have they shown you some moment of brilliance? Normally, that precedes greatness. Normally, you see something right away. Even someone like a Damon Clark, who many thought was bad before he had his Butkus Award finalist season under Blake Baker. We saw Damon Clark make plays. We did. I'm not making that up. 2019 LSU, he was a situational pass rusher and blitzer. We saw him make plays. I guarantee you, you can go back and look for yourself. Now, was he mostly not good in his first year as a full-time starting linebacker? Yes, but he did some good things. Okay? I've seen some good things from Ashton Stamp, so it makes me think that potentially he could be something for us next season. I mean, he's something for us now. Obviously, he has really struggled over this past month. That's normally a good precursor. Here's a good example of this. Perfect example of this. So, 2011 LSU season. There was a receiver by the name of Jarvis Landry that was a true freshman. And Odell, of course, was in that same class. So, Odell Beckham, 2011 LSU, played a lot at wide receiver. Jarvis Landry did not. But we saw a ridiculous moment of brilliance from Jarvis Landry. A lot of us remember the game. It was the kickoff tackle versus Auburn. That was a ridiculous piece of athletic achievement. In many ways, people, as crazy as this sounds, you remember that play more than you remember any catch he made. And there's very few people that even remember anything about that game. You forget Tyrann Mathieu was suspended. You forget Ron Brooks had 2 pick sixes. We were unbelievable that game. But what do you remember? You remember this true freshman wide receiver making a play on kickoff. That was extraordinary. Like a wide receiver making a tackle in Emory Jones's first real game. What did he do? He made a special teams tackle. Now, special teams isn't as big, punt returns or kickoffs or anything like that, because you kick it out of the back of the end zone. You don't really get to see those kinds of plays anymore. But the truth here is you normally see something. Normally you play. We see, rarely is it you don't play at all and boom. And in those instances, okay, by the way, I'm not saying you don't remember the Jarvis Landry catches, but he made so many freaking crazy plays. But everybody remembers that kickoff tackle. It's one of the top 5 plays of the 2011 season. A kickoff tackle. That's how special Jarvis Landry was. But I say all of those things because I want you to really pay attention to this. Okay? The guys that have later breakouts are normally guys that were blocked from having earlier breakouts. All right? So, what do I mean by that? Let's take a guy like one of my favorite LSU football players ever, Jeray Jenkins. You guys know, I freaking love Jeray Jenkins. He was a later breakout. He was a 2018 recruit. Didn't really play in 2018. Didn't really play in 2019. But why didn't he play? Tell me in the chat. Why didn't he play? A lot of you would know. Tell us why Jeray Jenkins didn't play in 2018 and 2019. Shout out Liverpool 2-0 versus Real Madrid. I'm not going to say anything about that because we got a bunch of Real Madrid fans that listen. There you go, Al. He remembers that. I mean, heck, there's 1,000 catches. Leon, you know I'm cheering for the Hurricanes this year. Freddie says LSU loses this game if the Sooners handle Bama. Okay. Big Dex in the chat. Brennan, Roger. There you go, Roger Dodger. Smart people. Later breakouts have ridiculous amount of talent in front of them. So the reason why Dre Jenkins was a later breakout was because there were transcendently all-time great football players ahead of him. Like all-time greats. Some of the best, not LSU football players, some of the best players, the top 1% of the 1% that have ever laced up the cleats. You had to sit behind Justin Jefferson. Had to sit behind Jamar Chase. Y'all, these are the two best receivers in the NFL. And then you had to sit behind Terrace Marshall, who was a pro and obviously very good. And then there was all other kinds of guys around him. True freshman Kayshawn at the beginning of 2020 was ahead of him. And what did he do? When he was given the opportunity, he balled out. But it was virtually impossible for him to play. So, I want you to ask yourself this question. Which position groups on LSU or which positions on this current team are virtually impossible to see the field at? The answer is only two. It's at quarterback, and that's pretty much everywhere. It's rare you're going to see the field. But offensive tackle. That's it, because we have two cornerstone offensive tackles. Every other position, there is room for you to play on this year's team. There is nobody blocking you. Now, you can make a case defensive end, especially if you want to have a tighter defensive end rotation. Okay? And you can make a case wide receiver. But I would have liked to have seen, or I would have thought that Jelani Watkins or Kylan Billiot would have at least played in these last couple of games. But really, offensive tackle is the only position that is truly blocked off from you getting a chance to play. Because you have one first rounder at left tackle, and then you have another who would be a third or fourth rounder and is really good in Emory Jones. Multiple year starters. So the issue when you look at 2023 or even 2022 guys or even 2024 high school recruits, there have been really a lot of positions where you can play. LSU will put you out there if they think you're good enough. And that goes for the 2024 class as well. So for the LSU coaches, when we have struggled with depth and we have struggled just in general to not churn in more young guys and play guys that we know aren't really that great, tells you everything you need to know about going to the portal. Y'all, it is so hard to play Division I Power 5 college football. It's even harder to pick out the ones that actually are good. And then it's even harder to try and predict if a player who's already out on your campus, hadn't done anything, will take a leap. It is better, I'm telling you right now, more often than not, it is better to just pay up and get someone proven from the portal. All right? It just is. And I understand that there are some really, 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 really difficult circumstances where guys, for example, like a Denver Harris, who had proven something at A&M as a true freshman, came in and totally tore apart the locker room. And he just did. He was arguably one of the most cancerous LSU football players of all time. On top of that, he was bad. And I think his lasting legacy is he made LSU cautious to go after other 5 stars from the portal. That is how damaging he was. But this is just where we are. We have got to go in the portal and find guys. So my question for any of you, are you willing to stick your legs into the ground? Stick a stake into the ground for any of these guys? Let me know. Let me know. Now, coming up next, the current LSU defensive backs, the current LSU DBs. Can we see a potential breakout versus Oklahoma? That's coming up. Home is where the heart is, and our friends at NOPOD Roofing really takes that to heart. 504-810-8744. Give them a call today for all of your roofing needs. And one of my favorite things about NOPOD Roofing is their versatility. They not only do roofing, they do siding, they do painting, they do tree removal, fencing, anything home improvement. Our friends at NOPOD will get you straight. Give them a call today at 504-810-8744 and let them know PHL and Carter the Power sent you. We never overpromise and always over-deliver with NOPOD, baby. Let's go. Book your 360 spin booth experience today with Zion Imaging. Yes, that's my buddy Jaron Thomas who started this venture years ago. And look at the smiles on these faces. This state-of-the-art photo booth is so incredible. I work in the wedding and event industry, and anytime I see a 360 photo booth, it takes your event, whether it's a reunion, a wedding, a conference, no matter what it is, it takes it to another level. Give them a follow on Facebook. Book them today. There is a special deal going on now where you can get up to 40% off. This is all the info. Give them a call today, 318-469-4265, or go to Zion Imaging. That's XYAN Imaging.com. All righty. Special shout out to the NoOffSeason.com network. Get your one-on-one sports car consultation today with yours truly at Carter the Power. First month free. Go to NoOffSeason.com. Let's go. So, if there was ever a game for the LSU DBs to really hold it down, it is this one. All right. First thing, the Oklahoma wide receiver room is the most injured wide receiver room in the history of college football. Their top 5 guys have been in and out of the lineup. Now, when you think about our room, how many wide receivers have been hurt in our room? CJ. And we talked about him courageously fighting through injury. And Chris Hilton, who is better off the field than on it. Okay, so we are in a position where, and look, I like Chris, and if he was healthy, he probably would be a little bit better. But this room is destroyed by injuries. Burks is an okay player, 31 catches, but this is Les Miles level stuff. Outside of Deion Burks, they don't have a wide receiver over 20 catches. One with 19, another with 16. And their tight end, Bauer Sharp, number 10. This is a tight end who plays a lot like Eli Stowers, who we played last week at Vanderbilt, and we shut him down. We absolutely, positively shut him down. If our DBs get burned by these wide receivers, it's done. There's no path forward. And guess what? You can have freaking Jamar Chase all you want. But if you don't have the QB, it doesn't matter. Jackson Arnold is not a good quarterback when it comes to throwing the football. His backup, Michael Hawkins, same thing. Same thing. Not a good quarterback when it comes to throwing the football. A year 2 and a year 1 QB. Now, they both can run like heck. And Jackson Arnold is one of the best zone read quarterbacks I have ever seen. When it comes to actually deciding whether or not to hand the football off or pull it, he's really good. And he can flat out run. He can. He's got juice. If he has no future at QB, he could make it as a slot receiver. I mean, he's, and potentially as an X. I mean, the dude's got real speed. And last week versus Oklahoma, they just couldn't do anything. They really couldn't. Right? Or last week versus Alabama, they could not stop their zone read stuff. If the LSU DBs get beat in the passing game in this matchup with a home field crowd at night, what are we doing? And on top of that, If there was ever a game to play young guys, y'all, this game means nothing in the grand scheme of things. As sad as that sounds, the worst amount of wins going into the final week of the schedule is 7. 7 is the worst amount of wins, and that's where we currently sit. Now, why is 7 the worst amount of wins? Well, the best amount of wins to have, of course, is 10. All right, because that means you are do or die. You've got to win that game so you don't get that second loss. And now it's 9, right, with the expanded playoff. 8 wins, that's a good amount because you could see a 3-loss team get in. So you want to go to 9-3. But 7 is the worst. 7 is the worst. 7 is the middle ground. Going from 7 to 8 doesn't really change your bowl game. You're not going to a New Year's 6. It doesn't really change a whole lot. And in the grand scheme of things, is there really that much of a difference between 7-5 and 8-4? No. We make jokes about Texas A&M going 8-4. Now, if you're at 6-5, you don't want to look 500, right? Aesthetically, doesn't look good. You want to be 7-5. And then obviously the second best number to be is at 5 wins because it is a do or die game. You know your guys are going to be locked in. Do or die to go to a bowl game. We're at 7. Oklahoma's at 6. They've gotten their 6th win. Okay? They're not going to be fully focused on this game, I guarantee you, because they're going to be looking into the portal for a quarterback and a lot of different things. It's a thing. It's a real thing. Do guys tune out if it's not a real bowl game? Are we going to have opt-outs? Those are all things that we have to be ready for. Okay? Let's go to Justin. He says, if Walker Howard goes in the portal, LSU should go after him. All right. I knew this was coming. I knew it. You couldn't be a YouTuber if you did not hear that name. Couldn't be an LSU YouTuber if you didn't hear it. Now, I would love it because I have a huge Walker Howard autograph card collection over here. I like Walker Howard. I do. I've learned quite a bit about him in all the research I've done on him. And we were talking about a minute ago. Is there a path forward for you to play? Walker Howard was at LSU. He was behind Jaden Daniels. And he was behind Garrett Nussmeier, had a year experience on him. Jaden, obviously, all-time great. Garrett's good. And he's been great. So he had no path forward. Then he goes to Ole Miss. Jackson Dart is there. Jackson Dart spent the night at Lane Kiffin's house. They have a really good relationship. Did you think Walker Howard's going to jump Jackson Dart? No. Then Spencer Sanders transfers there. Do you think he's going to jump Spencer Sanders, who's a 4-year starter? No. Then Walker Howard gets beat out by Austin Simmons. Y'all, Austin Simmons is really good. He's really good. His film in high school, really good. Y'all, stop it with this Walker Howard back to LSU nonsense. Walker Howard needs to go to a school where he can play. And that will take humbling yourself. I don't know why he doesn't go to just any Big 12 school, Big 10 school. Hell, go to freaking the Raging Cajuns. Light it up. You got 2 years left. But we shouldn't go get him. I'm sorry. Because let's just say LSU were to go back to get Walker Howard. And let's just say he beats out Garrett Nussmeier. Then everyone looks at you stupid. And they'll say, well, why didn't you just do this from the get-go? Be smart. Don't have irrational takes here. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It honestly, I think, would do more damage to both parties. Walker Howard needs to go somewhere where he can play. Okay? Let's say hi to Tyler Y'all throw some clap emojis in the chat for my guy, Tyler. That's my guy. Talked to him earlier today. No cojones, Kelly. That's interesting. You changed your profile photo. You were big cojones, Kelly, and now you're no cojones, Kelly. No, he has 2 years of eligibility left. He's a 2021 recruit. Redshirted. Okay. Actually, hold on. Let me. No, he was a 2022 recruit. Redshirted. 2023. Now we're in 2024. 2 years of eligibility left. Would we run it back with Max Johnson and Jake Johnson? Let's do it. Let's go. Can you believe we are 1 week away from the early signing period? Okay. Now, I do not want to talk about high school recruiting. I don't. But there are rumors that one of LSU's prize commits, Tyler Miller, is really getting steamed up in his home state of Mississippi. I do believe, based on just what I've read, I think he's going to pick LSU. I do. Okay. Now, I do want to have a conversation about the holidays. Okay. Because we're probably not going to go live tomorrow. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. I kind of want to, though. I'm not a Thanksgiving food guy. And it seems like I've angered quite a few people. I went on another show in New Orleans today. Went on Blake's show earlier this week. I just can't get on the Thanksgiving food stuff. It's just not for me. Do I like it? Yeah, I just don't. It is just amazing that the entire culture of food is just centered around this one holiday. And there's plenty of other great foods out there. Now, I do love stuffing. I do think turkey's overrated. Ham is definitely overrated. But my mother-in-law, Alice Joe. Actually, I can hear her on the phone. Bubby, Buds, I'm live. Does Alice Joe want to come on the show? No, I want her to come on the show so she can tell everyone what she cooks. She makes a great dish. Y'all type Y for yes if you want my mother-in-law to be on the channel. Type Y for yes, type in for that. She's never wanted to be on here before. Thanksgiving Eve. All right, y'all want her on? All right, let me go get her. She don't want to be on the channel. They just want to know what the cheesy carrots are. She can just talk. I'm not going to put her on there, face on there. I'll tell them what it is. No, but they want to hear from her. She's never been talked to. Oh, my God. Tell them the cheesy carrot recipe, Mother. All right, I'll show you. You're about to go on the live chat.
Oh my gosh.
No, you don't have to tell them the full recipe. Just tell them what's in.
Okay.
All right, say hi. This is my mother-in-law, Alice Show. Alice Show, tell people your best Thanksgiving dish. Tell them all about it.
My best Thanksgiving dish is cheesy carrots. And that has carrots, Velveeta cheese, butter, and then you top it with Ritz crackers and put sprinkle butter over the top of that, put it in the oven, bake it until it's bubbly, and it's super good.
Until it's what?
It's super good.
No, but you cook it until it's what?
Bubbly.
Bubbly! All right. Thank you, Alice Show.
All right, baby.
All right, here's how. Everybody's going crazy. I'm telling you, them cheesy carrots don't play. Them cheesy carrots don't play. Y'all have not lived life. Y'all have not lived life until you've had cheesy carrots. Oh, Brennan. Oh, PJ said no. Well, PJ, I'm putting your ass in timeout. You don't tell me that I can't let my mother-in-law be on the channel. Y'all, dude, until you've had the cheesy carrots, you have not lived life. That's the only reason I look forward to Thanksgiving dinner. That is it. That's the only reason I look forward to it. I think everything else is just kind of, I can get it anywhere. Okay. It's fire. It's absolutely fire. Till it's bubbly. Till it's bubbly. That's good. I know Dex can throw that. I'm telling you, cheesy carrots. Y'all think I'm playing. PJ said, if PJ would have just said, if he would have just said in for no, then I wouldn't have put him in timeout. But he said capital N, and for that, your ass is getting blocked. He said, no, don't let the lady that you love more than life itself. I love my mother-in-law. And it's 90% because of this dish. It kind of looks like this. It's got this crunchy kind of top to it, and those carrots. Oh, God bless. It festates beautifully together, man. I'm telling you. Jason, please go. This is the most disturbing comment ever. I actually have to put you in timeout for that one, man. You can come back in a few minutes. But did y'all see that comment? Oh, did y'all see that? Can't do that. can't do that because I got to go pick up my dog from the groomer here in a second, and there's normally that all over the place. I'm like, well, you know what? You know what this needs? This just needs some Velveeta. That is just the most disturbing thing. Huh? Strawberry pretzel salad. Come on. Let me ask you this. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Or type L for LSU, type O for Oklahoma. I want you to put a face to your prediction. Oklahoma scores less than 10. Oklahoma scores 11-21. Oklahoma scores 22-30. Oklahoma scores 31 or more. 5% of you have said 31 or more. 27% of you have said 22 to 30. 61% of you have said 11 to 21. And 8% of you say less than 10. All right. Wait. You're coming in here and sharing a recipe from a Bammer in my chat, Greg McElroy? Here's the thing, all right? I have no problem with anyone in the college football media sphere outside of a few, okay? I'm just telling you right now, I am willing to sell out for college football opinions. If you pay me enough, I'm willing to be nudged in the right direction. It's just how life works. It's just how life works. You're probably going to cave and do the same thing. Now, if I already have millions of dollars, hopefully I never sell out. But people that say I can't be bought, F that, you can be bought. I'm just telling you right now, though, the thing that I don't like about where college football is going is because your opinions can get nudged, wink, wink, nod, nodded. All right. As far as Greg McElroy is concerned, he is trying to distance himself from last year because how he handled the Florida State situation was unacceptable. I'm serious. It was unacceptable. Now, he is a really good analyst, and he was a really good quarterback at Alabama. But he flip-flopped on the Florida State-Bama thing pretty hard. All right? And the problem is, it wasn't because he played for Bama. He's really good at objectively analyzing Alabama. And that was his coach, who was a coach of Alabama. It was because of, well, you know. I don't need to go any further on that. And I saw another national college football analyst, J.D. Pickle, with the schnickiest, worst take I have ever seen. I try not to curse during the midweek things. Okay? The dude has never had a good opinion. Like, I just want him as a national college football analyst, because I want to be a national college football analyst. I am begging him to make one good college football take. He can't do it. It's impossible. It is impossible. I've seen Sage Ryan make a touchdown-saving tackle before I've seen J.D. Pickle make one good take. That's all I'm asking. One original, creative, not of the herd take. And he had the worst take. I'll pull it up. I'll let you read it for yourself. It is truly the bane of my existence, his take. It is the bane of my existence. Okay? And there are some bad takes going out there, including people that are saying, well, South Carolina should get in over Ole Miss if they beat Clemson this weekend, if a 3-loss team is going to be in. The fact that Alabama is getting put over Ole Miss already is just downright hogwash BS. It's so dumb. There's no reason for Alabama to be ahead of Ole Miss, and there's definitely no reason for South Carolina to be ahead of Ole Miss. There was another national college football guy that said, you know what, I would put South Carolina ahead of Ole Miss. South Carolina beat you 27-3, and you have the same amount of losses and the same amount of pretty good wins. All right. Here's J.D. Pickle in all his infinite knowledge. If I'm the SEC and I'm seeing who's getting a playoff spot over some of our 3-loss teams that would ragdoll them, I may just go start my own playoff with the Big Ten. Can you shut the hell up? That's all I'm asking. Shut the hell up. For once. It's better to just not say anything else if you're just going to just spew out this garbage. It's garbage. Nobody that is a real college football fan wants the SEC Invitational. I make money from the SEC Invitational. I cover Tennessee. I cover Ole Miss. I cover Texas. I cover a lot of these fringe teams. A&M Film Studies have done well when I've gotten time to do them. These fringe SEC teams getting in are good for me, and I am pushing against it. We don't want an SEC Invitational. And he's saying, well, if I'm the SEC. No, we don't want to break off. We don't want this to be the NFL. You don't want that. What are you doing? If you were going to have that take, have a backbone and do it before the season. It's stupid. It's so dumb. You should push against that. But no, we want to make college football the NFL. Now, I'm not saying that wouldn't be entertaining. We would have more great games. You wouldn't have LSU versus Norfolk State. You wouldn't have that if it's just the SEC and the Big Ten. But I'm telling you right now, what makes college football great is that we get those games. We get New Mexico beating Auburn. We get these upsets. You get those things. College football's fine. College football's fine. But no, if I'm the SEC and the Big Ten and I see one slot, it's one damn slot. If Arizona State gets it, who gives a damn? It's one slot. It's one slot. If you were truly a great team, there wouldn't be 5 other SEC teams ahead of you. There wouldn't be 4 SEC teams ahead of you. You have a chance. You have a chance. But no, we got to have a big deal because Boise State got in. The F with that. Is it time to go pick up the dogs? No, I'm going to pick up the dogs.
All right, come on, let's go. They're ready. I'm ready to go now. Bye, guys. Love you.
Well, you got to sign off. You got to sign off? You're the one kicking me out.
Carter, come on. What are we doing?
Tell Alice to come sign off.
No, tell me what I'm doing. My phone's blowing up.
All right, I'm coming. I'm right behind you. All right, y'all. I'm done. If you want to go live tomorrow, let me know. Edits! Power Hour. LSU. Boom! And tonight, we're doing cheesy carrots. Okay, that's tomorrow. Tonight, I'm going to pick up a fish plate. Let's go. No super chats tonight. That's